Welcome back to the USA Dynasty. We take on the Georgia State Panthers in a battle of Panthers versus Jaguars today, and is there really even a difference? I honestly have no idea. I'm gonna need someone that is well studied on cat biology to tell me that one. But today we take on a Panthers team that's 4-3, currently 1-2 in the conference. Very similar scenarios to us, similar seasons, just not doing as well yet. And off we go here in Georgia State. Of course, Brennan Jenkins will be back to return this one. And he'll get this out for a little bit more than we would have expected, down to the 36-yard line. And that is where the USA offense will start the game, of course. Not very fast. I think only 85 speed on Brennan Jenkins, so definitely might want a faster returner next season. We're going to start off 1st and 10 with an RPO speed out here to Devin Voisin, 5-yard gain. And then 3rd and 2, Kentrell Bullock will get the first down. 4-yard carry for Kentrell as he continues to pile up the usage this season. Now finding him on the angle route, that'll be a 9-yard gain to the 45-yard line. Kentrell definitely looking like one of the best backs in the nation. We're going to give him a rest on this one as we find Woods on the catch for about 5 yards. Now 2nd and 10. It's a sprint out for Zach Pyron. We don't see a lot of these. Saw that a lot in the UTEP series season 1. Definitely faster quarterback there with Malachi Nelson. Pyron not nearly as mobile, I would say. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Zach Pyron dropping back. And he's going to find Woods again. Michael Woods very active so far in this game. Then the handoff. Kentrell Bullock up the middle down to the 2-yard line. Bullock up to 14 yards. It's 1st and goal. 1st and goal at the 2. Zach Pyron rolling out right. Has a man wide open. Doesn't throw it to him. Brennan Jenkins was just standing there running that drag route wide open. Pyron instead decides to be selfish and take the house call himself. And the Jaguars score the first touchdown of the game. Now we'll get to see Christian Velu from Georgia State. 2 touchdowns and 1 interception in his last game. This is a handoff on 1st down for 5 yards to the right hash. We have seen a lot of struggles stopping the run for this Jaguars team, as Velu will run this and fumble. It gets picked up by the Panthers down to the 32. Velu very mobile, but can he hang on to the ball? Potentially not, as this throw is going to hit midfield. Velu looking pretty solid so far, other than the dropped ball. Now throwing this one on the curl. Really good play on the comeback route, rather. Ted Hurst, 2nd catch of the game, their star wide receiver. Looked really good on that connection on the timing from Velu. And now a 1-yard loss. Blaine Myrick getting the TFL. Force a 3rd and 11. Velu finds his target over the middle, fighting his way into the end zone. And the Panthers match the score here in the 1st quarter. 7 apiece as the Jaguars will take back over, and look at Kentrell Bullock break off a run. Offensive line doing their job. Bullock just following his blockers really well, and he is officially over 1,000 yards on the season. Great season here for Kentrell. And now he's going to break this one outside. Nobody in front of him, to the 10, to the 5, into the end zone as he absorbs the contact on his shoulder. Kentrell Bullock looking like he could be potentially a Heisman candidate. This really might be the new Ashton Jonty, just 1 year after Jonty leaves for the NFL. 3rd and 3, Velu back on offense. Throwing this one up one-on-one. And that is broken up. Javon Henderson, really good coverage. So Jaguars take over again. Chance to pad this lead a little bit. It's going to be a 7-yard run for Kentrell, who's already up to 98 yards, and we're not even done with the 1st quarter yet. Now the read keep for Pyron. When you have a running back doing as well as Kentrell is, it opens up things like the read option. Nobody's expecting Pyron to carry the ball when Kentrell's doing what he's doing. And Kentrell across 100 yards on the game at the start of the 2nd quarter. Hand off to him again. A lot of room in front of him. Kentrell running towards contact. I think you got to bounce that out wide if you're him. It'll be 2nd down and 7 now. Zach Pyron dropping back, throwing this one. Caught Devin Voisin, and he just walks it into the end zone. Actually dives across the goal line there as Voisin breaks the plane and breaks this game open. 21-7 your score. 10 minutes left in the 2nd quarter, and Velu hoping he can run a bit more efficient of a drive this time around. It's going to be 2nd down and 1. Inside their own 30. Handoff again. Jaguars defense just not able to stop the run game very well, as Amos picks up about 15 yards. Now play fake to Amos. Velu runs out of time. He will be sacked by Emmanuel Waller off the edge. 2nd and 19. It's another play fake for Amos, and this time it works, but absolutely sailing the pass. Velu missed his target entirely. So 3rd and 19, Velu, a lot of time in the pocket, and he's just going to check this one down into the flats. Breaking 2 tackles there is the tight end, but going to be 13 yards short, and we get the ball back once again. Hand off to Cantrell, who's going to run it up the middle on the RPO, 5-yard gain. Now 3rd and 5. Zach Pyron throwing this one out, and has Devin Voisin, who's across the marker. That's a 1st down. Now 2nd and 7. It's a handoff to Cantrell, who cuts it left, then cuts it back inside. Cantrell across midfield, and he's already nearing 150 on the game. Zach Pyron underneath finds Devin Voisin on 3rd and 12, but it's going to be 8 yards short of a 1st down. And we'll attempt a long field goal here. Kick is up, and the kick is good. Davis Little from right around 50, I think that was 56 yards. Maybe officially 55, but really great kick from Davis Little. And Panthers have one more chance to try to get back into this game. They're down 17, 2nd and inches at the 30. Velu throwing this one underneath again. Overton with the catch, and he loses the ball. It is picked up by the Panthers, and ultimately they would rule that down by contact anyway. 3rd and 7, handoff Amos, and he will not get the 1st down, actually 2 yards short, and they will keep their offense on the field. Throwing this one out in the flats, and it's caught. Blaine Myrick misses on the dive tackle, and that is a touchdown for Georgia State, as they will try to claw their way back into this game. Now only down 10 points. 30 seconds left though. Do the Jaguars have time to make something happen? 6-yard speed out to Devin Voisin. 2nd down and 4. It's another out thrown. This time to Brennan Jenkins. Now Cantrell in motion. It's a throw out to Devin Voisin, who drags his feet out of bounds. 7 yards on that one. 23 seconds left. Finding Devin Voisin once again down to the 34-yard line. And with 15 seconds left, 2nd and 3, we'll just take the handoff up the middle. Cantrell Bullock gets this one down to the 15. And with 10 seconds left, do we take a shot? It looks like we will. Pyron dropping back, rolling out to the right. And Pyron throwing this one to the end zone, and it's leapt up and intercepted. Another red zone interception for this Jaguars offense. And a pretty much lost opportunity for 3 points, as that will take us to halftime. Still a 10-point lead for a Jaguars offense that looked pretty much unstoppable. The run game really opening up down the field throws, opening up the read option. 10 yards a carry for Cantrell Bullock. He's something special to watch. And we'll get to see a little bit more of his backups, I think, as the season goes on, because we want to try to avoid wear and tear a little bit. Now 3rd and 6, Cantrell still on the field. Pyron throwing this one out, and it is dropped. Micah Woods had his hands on it. Wouldn't have mattered. It would have been short anyway. We check back in a little later in the game, and Georgia State has actually tied things up. So they've scored 10 points. We are near the end of the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 3 for Zach Pyron. He's going to find Devin Voisin across the line. That is a 1st down. Now 2nd and 10, last play of the 3rd quarter. Pyron's going to find Woodyard, and Woodyard will move the sticks once again, as that will end the 3rd quarter, and we go into the 4th tie game. Zach Pyron sacked on the play. Rare we see a sack come from the interior lineman. Now 3rd and 13. Pyron has Voisin with the step, and he finds him, and he hangs on. Devin Voisin on the crossing pattern, had 2 men on him and still managed to get that. Now a 5-yard run for Cantrell Bullock, as he's up to 160 on the game. Voisin in motion. It's a flip pass to him. Voisin's got some blocking, and Voisin's got some space. Touchdown, Devin Voisin, as he does a front flip somersault into the end zone. And what is this dance? I actually learned some new dances, so we'll see what all I can do with those. Pretty goofy one there. So Velu back down by 7, but he's been very, very good at clawing back into this game, and he's going to have a big 1st down run here down to the 41. Handoff Amos, bouncing this one outside and not getting tackled by Blaine Myrick, and then juking out Javon Henderson. Only picks up 5 yards. 3rd and 5, and it is a swing screen as he's got the 1st down. Yeah, no, they're actually going to call him inches short. Offense stays on the field. It's a handoff. Amos cuts it inside, and Amos has a first down and then picks up 5 more. Wesley Miller finally bringing him down. Now 2nd down and 9. Inside 5 minutes left in this game. That is a throw out to Ted Hurst, who we haven't seen a ton of since the first half, but he is up to 102 yards receiving. Now Amos on 3rd and 9. They run a counter, and he's going to be well short of a first down. So the Panthers kick. An 8-yard run for Kentrell Bullock. A few first downs ice this game. Kentrell up the middle has another first down, and now Georgia State's got to start burning those timeouts. Kentrell up the middle again, 6-yard run, and that's another Panthers timeout. Now 3rd and 4. Pyron handoff. Bullock has the first down, and now we only have the 2-minute warning left. So 2nd down and 9. Flip pass. Devin Voisin will pick up the first down, and out will come the victory formation. Trent Thomas shaken up on the play, but the Jaguars have won this game. Really excellent stuff from the offense. I thought the defense was solid in the first half, but then kind of fell apart in the second. Georgia State mounting a furious comeback, but then 1 touchdown in the 4th and some lockdown defense ices the game. Your player of the game, Devin Voisin, I thought that should have gone to Kentrell Bullock. We did start not running the ball to him as much. I was trying to avoid his load a little bit, try to keep it lighter. But in the end, we find Devin Voisin a lot, and he gets a lot of run after the catch opportunities and makes them count. The Jaguars win again. And really, if you look at this game, it was mostly domination. Now, they did have more yards per pass attempt, but overall, I thought our team was just the better team. 213 with 2 touchdowns and an interception for Pyron. 184 on 7 carries and a touchdown for Bullock, and then 129, 2 touchdowns for Devin Voisin. On defense, great stuff from Emmanuel Waller with the sack and the TFLs. No turnovers though. Devin Voisin has set the South Alabama single season receiving touchdowns record. Do you know who had that before? Current Cowboy Jalen Tolbert. So that record has been broken. Of course, Tolbert's still holding the lion's share of receiving records, but Devin Voisin will also break the single season receptions record. So congratulations to Mr. Voisin. We're not done though. Kentrell Bullock, single season rushing yards record. And we still have a lot of time left in this season. I think he could obliterate it as Terrence Spruce, the gadget wide receiver out of Hoover, Alabama, commits. Another gadget receiver commitment here for the Jaguars. And then Sunbelt Player of the Week, Devin Voisin. Let's go ahead and jump into the second game now as we take on Louisiana Lafayette, the Raging Cajuns. Coming into this game 3-5 and 0-4 on the season. This is definitely one of those gimme games you can't really afford to lose. As we find out, Kentrell Bullock currently on the watch list for the Heisman. That's not a joke. The South Alabama running back is currently in the top 5 projected finalists. We'll have to manage his carries going forward though, because we don't want to have him miss out on that race. Pyron hit as he throws, and that's going to be a 4th and 8 as we see the 3 and out from the Jaguars offense. Out comes the Raging Cajuns, and they're led by their quarterback Howard, who is mostly a statue in the pocket. First throw for his is a really good one, out to the 42-yard line. Now tight end in motion, 1st and 10. Play fake, throwing this one deep, intercepted. Wesley Miller. Really good coverage. Thought he had a window in the seam between the zones, but Wesley Miller just kind of leaps that zone and picks that one off. So 5-yard run to Kentrell Bullock to open up this drive. Now 3rd and 5. Zach Pyron dropping back, throwing the curl. Devin Voisin's got it, and that's a first down. Jerron Dawkins with the tackle. 1st and 10 at the 46, and Zach Pyron dropping back. He's going to check this one down to Kentrell, who's got 4 yards on the catch. Now 2nd down and 6. At midfield, Pyron has Trent Thomas behind the linebacker, and Thomas has been so excellent in catch and run. He's actually been better than Devin Voisin even. Now Kentrell with a big burst up the middle, and he's down to the 15. Now some of Kentrell's ratings have already started dipping due to wear and tear. So here you see me substitute in Iverson Celestine. Now we're not going to run him necessarily as we find Trent Thomas for a nice 8-yard gain. But it can be good to spell just the occasional snap. As Kentrell finding his way down to the plane, I guess he didn't break it. So 1st and goal, flip pass, Devin Voisin gets awarded with the touchdown reception officially. You will see me try to spell Bullock here and there on snap counts, just to avoid pass protection even for him. As the Raging Cajuns take over once again. Howard with the throw out to the 33. Now 1st and 10, Howard. A lot of time in this pocket, and he has a man break wide open. That's Williams down to the 50-yard line. Definitely can't afford to let Walker Howard have this long in the pocket. He's going to throw this one out, and that is caught. Down to the 44. Is he in any way related to Will Howard? I'm not sure. Now this throw over the middle. Williams again. Robert Williams, as a matter of fact. Down to the 38. 1st and 10. Throwing this one out, and Robert Williams breaks the press. We tried to run some press zone, and he breaks it down to the 10-yard line. Howard throwing this one underneath to his tight end, and that'll be 5 yards short of the goal line. So the Raging Cajuns settle for 3. Back on offense, screen pass out. Kentrell spinning inside. Kentrell picking up 6 yards on the screen. Now it's 2nd and 4. Handoff Kentrell up the middle, and he's got a 1st down and then some as Kentrell shaken up on this play. And it looks like he's grabbing at that ankle. We'll have to keep an eye on that. So in comes freshman Malone, and that'll be Iverson Celestine as well on relief as that throw is incomplete. Now 3rd and 15. Zach Pyron rolling out to the right. Doesn't have anybody open. Trying to throw this one. Dangerous throw to Brennan Jenkins with 3 white jerseys in the area. Later this game, we would get another attempt on offense. Kentrell checking back in, and he's already making his name known again. Down to the 40 on the angle route. That's 1st and 10. Zach Pyron dropping back from the gun. He's going to roll out right. Finds Devin Voisin down to the 46. So 2nd and 5. Now 3rd and 3. Zach Pyron over the middle, and he's got Michael Woods on the 1st down. 10-yard gain on the drag route. 2nd and 6 handoff. Iverson Celestine with the spell carry down to the 34. Kentrell checking back in on 3rd and 7. Looks like Pyron makes some adjustments, drops back, and he will take off on this one, just running up the middle. The defensive line rather, playing more outside and not having anyone on the interior. Now Pyron with the quick tight end screen to Trent Thomas, and that screen will net him 5 yards inside the 10-yard line officially. Now 3rd and 2. Pyron facing the blitz. Mike linebacker had a free rush to him, and he just calmly delivers the pass to Devin Voisin. And now the fake end around. Touchdown for Kentrell. Barely even got touched there. And we set that up with the earlier jet pass. Really like how that play led into itself. Back on offense once again. It's 1st and 10. Walker Howard with a 5-yard gain. I think he settled in nicely after that first interception. Now the screen pass out, absorbing the hit. Really nice play by the running back for Louisiana. 1st and 10. Howard, still a lot of time in the pocket. He is going to move, and then he throws it on the move down the field and almost intercepted. Wesley Miller dropped it, and he can't believe himself. 3rd and 8 now for Howard. Drop back. A lot of time in the pocket. Throwing this one into the soft part of the zone for Robert Williams. That's going to be a big 20-yard gain, and that dropped interception may come to be pretty big later in this game. Now Howard one-on-one. Caught! Javon Henderson went for the interception and completely lost the route. Can't even blame the sunlight on this one as Sampson Jr. scores the touchdown on the go ball. Back on offense once again. Kentrell shrugging off a hit. 10-yard run, now 2nd and inches. Only 6.5 a carry for Kentrell. Only. Trent Thomas on the drag route has the 1st down as we near the end of this half. Now 2nd and 4 with 30 seconds remaining. Kentrell carry up the middle. He's got a big time 1st down now inside the 30-yard line. 2nd and 10. Zach Pyron throwing this one. That is caught. Brennan Jenkins down to the 20. Maybe have one more chance for the end zone here. Zach Pyron on 3rd and 1. He's going to take off and run. He's got a lot of room in front of him. Pyron to the sticks. No. Short of the pylon. Now 1st and goal at the 1. Handoff. Kentrell up the middle. Touchdown. Kentrell running through the tackle. Now hitting the gritty. And the Jaguars in the 1st half with another touchdown. Something they didn't do in the last game. And they take an 11-point lead in the halftime. Really like what I'm seeing from the Jaguars offense. Kentrell Bullock, 6 yards a carry, 78 yards on 13 attempts, 2 touchdowns already, 1 touchdown for Devin Voisin. And this Jaguars offense leans on these two like no other. Now starting off the 2nd half with a run. Howard handing it off for a 5-yard gain on the off tackle. 2nd down and 5. Howard throwing this one out to his tight end who's wide open in the zone. We have seen a lot of these holes in the zone get picked apart by these opposing quarterbacks. Definitely think that's just a part of having slower players in the zone. They can't cover as much ground. They're not as rangy. Of course, I don't think we're good enough to run man either. Now Walker Howard on the speed option, and the read should have been from the start to go after the running back. Definitely don't want to respect Howard's running ability. And the Raging Cajuns score a touchdown. So 4-point game with 8 minutes left. Play action and Pyron sacked. Never stood a chance there. 3rd and 15, Zach Pyron dropping back. Still a lot of time throwing this one. Dangerous throw. Devin Voisin thankfully breaking that up. We would get the ball back again later with a stop on the Cajuns. So now it's a 7-yard run for Kentrell Bullock. 2nd down and 4. Zach Pyron throwing this one underneath to Rod Gibbs, who does meet the sticks. That's a 1st down. 1st and 10, handoff. Kentrell Bullock up the middle. 7-yard gain for Kentrell as he continues to just dominate these front sevens. Another run where you have to tackle him going towards your own end zone. Another 7-yard gain. Now giving him a break from getting runs as we're going to throw this one out. Caught Michael Woods. 1st and 10, inside 2 minutes left in this quarter, and it is an RPO slant. Peeked the linebacker and hit the tight end there, Trent Thomas. Now 2nd and 2, Brian Davenport comes in and he pulls it down for a read option. That's going to be a 15-yard run for Davenport coming in this package here as a running quarterback. Of course, in real life, Davenport getting the starts for this Jaguars offense. Now Davenport rolling out right. He's going to throw across his body. Not a terrible throw, but Brennan Jenkins can't hang on, and in comes Zach Pyron again. Handoff Kentrell Bullock up the middle. Another 7-yard run. He's over 100 on the day officially. 3rd and 3. Zach Pyron throwing this one out. Caught! Devin Voisin untouched into the end zone. A crossing pattern for Devin Voisin. Nobody in the area. The zone was just not there at all. And now an 11-point lead once again for the Jaguars. So Cajuns back on offense. Robert Williams not going down, but he doesn't gain any yardage. We're inside 10 minutes left in this game. 3rd and 8. That is a caught screen, and that'll be a 1st down plus a few extra. Darius McKenzie with the tackle. Now 2nd and 8 inside the 8 minutes. And this time it's well read on the swing screen. Nice stop for Wesley Miller. 3rd and 12. Walker Howard throws this one short to his tight end in the flats, who's wide open. Really deep zones for the Jaguars. And the Cajuns pick up a 1st down. 1st and 10, handoff, stopped. Great play from the defense. Now 2nd and 13, Walker Howard throwing this one out on the curl, and it's caught. 10-yard gain for Robert Williams. He's up to 130 for the game. Handoff. Davis nowhere near 1st down. It's 4th and 3, and the Cajuns will settle for the 3. So South Alabama just needs a 1st down now to really get things going. Devin Voisin with the 7-yard gain. Now 3rd and 8. Pyron steps up, takes off and runs with this one. And he's 2 yards short of a 1st down, and Atari Mason signals for them to go for it. Handoff, Kentrell spins instead of trying to run through the tackler, and he's short of the 1st down. What was that play call? So short field for the Cajuns, and they're going to immediately take off with a Sampson Jr. 1st down, 15-yard gain. And then a throw out to the tight end, down inside the 1, touchdown! Cajuns 2 points away from knotting this up, and they send out the offense once again. 2-point attempt here. Walker Howard to the end zone, missing everybody in the world, and South Alabama very fortunate to come out of that with a 2-point lead still. Zach Pyron on offense, hit as he throws, can't find Brendan Jenkins. 3rd and 9. Pyron stepping up and throwing this one to Kentrell, who has it broken up. It's 4th and 9, and the offense is staying out there. This is how little they trust the defense. Zach Pyron takes off and runs with this one. Pyron picks up the 9 yards and has a 1st down. Jaguars hand it off to Kentrell. 3-yard gain. Next 1st down ices this one. 2nd and 7. It's a flip pass to Devin Voisin, who's nearing a 1st down. That'll be a 4-yard gain. 3rd and 3. And we all know who the ball is going to here. Handoff. Bullock. Did he make it? No. They're going to say inches short, and so the offense stays out there. Now making some adjustments. You can see Brendan Jenkins alone on the outside. Pyron audibling here. And he's going to send him on a go and then throw it up to him. And Jenkins gets it broken up, turnover on downs. A little greedy to go for that. Just have him do a speed out or something. My goodness. Now a flag on the play is they're going to get holding on the South Alabama defense. And it's 1st and 10. That's a 5-yard gain. Howard across 350 on the game. Now 2nd and 5. Walker Howard throwing this one out. Now you just hope they kick a field goal, but honestly, with 50 seconds left, they could run the clock down. Walker Howard stepping up and throwing this one. That's going to be another 8-yard gain. Time winding down. They're running no huddle. This is good for South Alabama, though. Now to the end zone, one-on-one. Javon Henderson gives it up again. Would have been a field goal with 30 seconds left. Instead, it's now a touchdown, and so the Jaguars will need a score of their own, a touchdown of their own. Shelton Sampson Jr. with the Moss over Javon Henderson. Got greedy on the interception attempt. And that might be game. Now they're challenging possession, but that's going to be ruled a touchdown. And if you're Javon Henderson, you've just got to knock that ball down. I understand trying to win the game with the pick, but this is just too much to risk here. And the kick is off to the Jaguars. Brendan Jenkins to return this one from the 3. You need a touchdown to win this game. You have 3 timeouts. There's definitely still an option or an opportunity. 1st and 10, play action. Pyron going to get hit as he throws. Dangerous pass. Flipped up. Voisin almost caught it. And he would have had a lot of green in front of him. 2nd and 10, 24 seconds left. Another play action. Pyron stepping up, throwing this one deep. Voisin one-on-one. Broken up. Had a decent shot there. 4th and 10, and this is your game now. Pyron going to find Eager on the curl route. Anthony Eager. And that stops the clock after timeout. So 6 seconds. One more play maybe before the Hail Mary. 1st and 10. Pyron out. Caught. And Woods. Micah Woods steps out of bounds. And he had green in front of him. Look right here. Trent Thomas picking up the block. Micah Woods. All the green. That could have been 6. And we'll never know. With 3 seconds left now. Pyron. Hail Mary attempt. A lot of time, lofts this one up. It's up and it's broken down, and that is the game. Jaguars lose this one in a heartbreaker. And Atari Mason with the most blunderous coaching towards the end of that game. Really me. At that point, the first 4th down go attempt that we failed on, I really think was the worst one. I shouldn't have gone for that one. The consecutive ones were because I just didn't think our defense would be able to stop them in time. So I would rather give them short field with a chance to score than try to see my defense defend the full length of the field and take all the time off. Overall, really, really poor clock management, poor gameplay for the Jaguars. Pyron with 200 yards on 44 pass attempts. Kentrell Bullock ended up getting pretty stymied in the second half, I would say. Devin Voisin not even having a great game. I thought their game plan on defense was really good. Wesley Miller with an interception. And Zach Pyron has set the single season passing touchdowns record. So silver lining, I guess, for this loss, if you can call it that. Zach Pyron making history. And we do get a commit from right tackle Randall Keller from Kiln, Mississippi. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Go ahead and leave a like if you enjoyed that video, and I will see you next time. Have a good one.